Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 222. My name is Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we've got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing there, Kevin?
Pretty good.
This week on the show, we'll be talking about some more films that screened at this year's Japan Cuts Festival, with reviews of Sono's Love and Peace, Gakuryu Ishii's Bitter Honey, and Yuko Nakamura's A Room of Her Own. We'll also be talking about some other stuff we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases. I don't have any news this week. No, I was thinking we could just dive right into these Japan cuts. We could do some deep cuts here.
Let's do it. I always want to see Japanese cuts for some reason.
Yeah.
Japan cuts just seems really awkward to me.
It does. My first instinct is to also just say Japanese cuts. I don't know. I was thinking we could just start with Love and Peace.
We could just go straight to the Sono.
Yeah, because that's just the first one that I mentioned. It's the first one I have up on my screen here. So, this is directed by Sion Sono. I have a synopsis here. A man who once dreamed of becoming a punk rocker is working as a low salaryman at a musical instrument parts company. He's secretly in love with his colleague. One day, he finds a little turtle on the rooftop, naming it Picadon.
It's a little... I like how they're like, he finds a little turtle on the rooftop.
Doesn't he buy it? He buys it.
Yeah, he buys it.
It's
like a turtle. There's a turtle salesman, a little turtle salesman on the roof, where I guess is where they have their lunch. Mm-hmm. Seems like a little rooftop lunch area. And he's just like, I'm going to buy a turtle. This turtle's my friend now. And then he plays with that turtle for like 5 hours. And then
flushes it down the goddamn toilet like an idiot.
Yeah. Just because he fucking takes it to work. And like, he's picked on like,
mercilessly.
He is a ridiculous character in the beginning of his film. Like, he's like constantly on the verge of shitting himself for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And crying.
Yeah, and for whatever reason he doesn't get that like checked out. Like, he doesn't go to a doctor for it. Because there's no way you should be in that much, abdominal pain.
That much distress.
For like 24. Yeah, he's crying, I think, because he's going to shit himself.
I don't know. He's
with all that being said, you would think like once you got this turtle and you grew really attached to it, maybe taking it to work is not a good idea, because you know that
they're going to give you shit for it.
Yeah, at some point in time, like, you can't keep a turtle under wraps every day in, day out. Someone's going to find out about this turtle, and then they're going to let you fucking have it.
And it happened the first day.
Yeah, I mean, how did he not foresee that happening? And it seems kind of odd that he just jumped straight to flushing it down the toilet. Like, just keep it at home from there on out.
Yeah, just leave and take it home.
And then just be like, you know what? Not bringing it into work anymore. Probably not a good idea.
So he flushes it down the toilet, and it ends up in this sort of Island of Misfit Toys scenario where it's a bunch of discarded toys and pets and things, but they can all talk and they're all alive because a seemingly homeless man who is clearly an alcoholic feeds them candy that allows them to talk. And he attempts to feed the turtle this talking candy, but he feeds it wishing candy instead.
Oh, that's a mistake that happens a lot too, though.
So now instead, I don't quite get that. So it's like the owner, his wishes start to come true. Is it the turtle granting the wishes, or is it the turtle who wishes for his owner to be successful?
Yeah, I never quite understood that either. And how is it?
Because this turtle has a shit life from beginning to end of this movie. And it's like, I just don't really understand. It's like, this guy's got everything going for him. He flushed the turtle down the toilet. He deserves nothing.
Yeah, that's what I don't know whose dreams are coming true here. Well, obviously it's his, but like you said, is the turtle getting something out of this? Yeah, is it the turtle? Like, the turtle has become like a genie now, where he's able to make wishes come true.
And for some reason, every time he grants a wish, he grows like exponentially, and he gets bigger.
Yeah, which apparently there's a huge downside to. And it's from the sound of it, why does this drunk sewer man have these wishing candies? Because it doesn't seem like that he uses them often, and it seems like there's a lot of downsides to him that he doesn't use them. So why does he keep making them? Like, stop making them, sewer man.
Well, when his identity is revealed at the end, that kind of explains some of this stuff.
It's kind of funny too.
But by the time
we like to think of, it is funny to think of him as a drunk.
Yeah. At the end, by that point, I was when his identity was revealed, I was already so tuned out. I was like, all right.
Well, but yeah, let's actually like start getting into this movie a little bit more. Criticizing it, because I felt the exact same way. There's really not a whole lot going on with this film, and a lot of it is extremely familiar. Number one, like the owner, like his wishes coming true. It follows the normal trajectory of like, he starts out where he's a misfit and he's in love with this girl, and then he starts being successful and he fucking pushes everyone off to the side and it becomes an egomaniac. Like, we haven't seen that how many times before. Yeah. It's essentially like every Behind the Music VH1 special ever. And you say that's like half of it, and then the other half is the turtle being down in the sewer, where, like you said, it's like the Island of Misfit Toys, where it's just, there's not a whole lot going on down there.
No, it's they don't really, there's just nothing, they don't really talk about anything. There's just nothing of substance down there, other than the fact that it's a cool visual to see all these like puppets and things moving around and all these animals and stuff. Like, I thought that was cool, but it was more than anything, I was just annoyed. Like, I found many things in this movie to be very grating.
Well, they spend so much time down there, but you're right. There's no, it doesn't really add anything to the film. We keep spending all this time with these talking toys.
Yeah, but it's like they don't really talk about anything. It's like it's all pointless.
No, they just keep reiterating the same things.
Yeah, some of them want to leave, some of them want to stay. What, am I going to leave, or are we going to stay, or what's going on here?
Yeah,
and Sulky just hates everybody.
Yeah, it's like, I just don't give a shit. I just don't really care. And then it gets kind of interesting where Picadon kind of escapes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a whole thing now. Like, we got a different film going on here, and then it's only different for like 5 minutes.
He leaves, and then he goes back.
And then it goes back to the same thing. It's like, how does Picadon know how to navigate the city? Like, he's a turtle. Does he have GPS? Like, how does he get back to...
He's magical. He knows.
It's just, oh my God, this movie goes on and on. It honestly felt like it took me like 7 days to watch this thing.
Probably because you didn't like it.
Well, it's just...
When you don't like a movie, it tends to feel longer. But yes, this movie, it's just under 2 hours, and the length, you feel that length.
And it's just... when you really boil it down, like, what happened?
Right.
He gets picked on, he flushes his turtle down, turtle gets powered, and then he becomes, like, pretty successful. That's it. It's like, wow, 2 hours for that?
Yeah, I think they definitely could have trimmed this down by at least 30 minutes. I mean, this is a family film, and most family films are pretty short in length. I think for this reason, it's that you can't take a lot. Like, I couldn't take any more of this. It was just so annoying. It was just grating on me.
Especially the turtle. Picadon, every time he talked, or whatever, it just made his noises or whatever.
I thought most of the characters were extremely annoying. Like, I was annoyed by almost everyone.
I did find the main character, the salary man, I did find him quite funny in the beginning. Especially when he gets Picadon and he just starts freaking out in his house. And he's so damn excited.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay, I guess.
But then he just became like a, like I said, it's so familiar where he gets a little bit of success and then he pushes everyone off to the side. And becomes self-centered. She's like, "Whoa, we know exactly where this is going."
They also overplayed that
fucking song.
That song, that one from Clockwork Orange. I think that was from A Clockwork Orange, right? Pretty sure it was that.
It's just, oh god.
But they just played it over and over again.
The only thing that I could honestly, that I was impressed with was Picadon. Like when he grew, I was like, good work.
I like
good prop work.
I liked some of the prop work and the effects work. I thought when Picadon got significantly bigger, it wasn't as good. Because the first time he grew a little bit, I thought that the modeling and the puppetry still looked pretty good. But then when he got really big, it didn't look as good.
Yeah.
But for the most part, especially when he was small size, because they mixed in using a real turtle and using a fake turtle, and it was pretty seamless. Like I liked the scene when he first got flushed and was floating through the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a cool scene. Although for some reason, I don't know if you noticed this, but Sono oddly slowed down one part of it to like slow motion for some reason for like 4 seconds and then sped it back up. And I don't quite know why he did that.
He was probably drunk.
Probably. But I mean the puppetry for me was really hit or miss because like I don't think it was supposed to look high tech, state of the art, real or anything like. But I mean, some of it looked kind of silly. But I think that this is. I mean, I guess this is a kids movie. I don't even know. I don't know if this is supposed to be a kids movie or not. Like in some respects, it's a Christmas film.
Yeah, but and then the thing too is if you were to kind of like explain what happens in this film to someone, like if you're on the receiving end of it, you're thinking in your head like, this sounds ridiculous. Like this sounds just so. I have to see this because it just sounds so off the wall. But actually watching this thing, it's so unbelievably boring.
It's funny because there's a lot of Japanese films that are like family friendly or more geared towards younger viewers, and I feel the same way. Like Jellyfish Eyes, I felt that way. Assassination Classroom, I felt that way. And it was just like, I don't know, maybe I just am not that into the lighter Japanese comedy family movies. I think they're just not for me. Because I don't find them particularly fun. It felt like an anime to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where everybody was very exaggerated and animated throughout.
Well, it's just how do you have something so off the wall and just render it completely uninteresting?
I don't know.
And just familiar too, which is just, I mean, that's kind of a feat to have a movie about a guy buying a rooftop turtle
who grants him wishes.
Who grants him wishes and lives with other talking animals and toys and makes him a mega superstar pop artist, and then just continues to grow in size, and then it all feels really familiar. Like, how did you do that? That's kind of impressive.
Yeah. I did notice there was a little Suicide Circle Easter egg in there. One of the songs that they sang was one of the songs from Suicide Circle.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the pop group that was in Suicide Circle. You know, the girls.
Yeah.
I can't remember their name, but one of the songs that they sing, Revolution Q or whatever. Is that what their name?
Yeah,
they sang it in this. So I thought that was interesting. Nice little Easter egg. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't really recommend Love and Peace.
No, me either.
All right, let's go ahead and give this thing a score. Kevin, what are you going to give Love and Peace?
4.
I'm going to give it a 4.5. So let's move on. Which one do you want to talk about next? It's your call. I picked the first one. You can pick the second one.
Let's keep it with the ridiculousness and go with Bitter Honey.
Oh God! Oh, Bitter Honey.
Because instead of a turtle, we'll move into the area of goldfish.
Yeah. So okay, Bitter Honey, directed by Gakuryu Ishii. I have a synopsis here. A Kago is a red goldfish able to change into a girl. She possesses a pure and sensuous side. She lives with an old male writer whom she calls Oji-sama. One day, the ghost of Yuriko Tamura appears. She is a woman the writer knew in the past. I bet you have so many questions about this movie. I think I still have questions about this movie.
So bad. The main reason I picked this one is because of reading the synopsis. Just like, she's a red goldfish able to change into a girl. And I was like, I would like to see what you do with that.
All right. Well, Kevin, what'd you think of Bitter Honey?
I don't know fucking clue. I don't know what this is. I was so perplexed the entire time. It's so bizarre. Because I can't figure out what he's trying to say with the goldfish.
I think the goldfish was like his muse. And I think it was about this. It was so the writer. He's an old man. He's nearing the end of his life. He is kind of looking back at his life. He's scared of dying. He wants to hold on to his youth, and it's just him kind of trying to deal with getting old. And at first, this movie kind of reminded me of a Woody Allen film, like the premise, the music, everything. It had this kind of light Woody Allen vibe to it for me. It changes later on, but
it's kind of all over the place.
It is, yeah. Especially like when the ghost appears and the whole the mating thing.
Well, oh man, because I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, okay, this is clearly she's a muse, and that's kind of what he's commenting on, I guess. But then it takes this weird turn where the ghost shows up, and then the goldfish gets the idea that they should become lovers, and then the way in which they become lovers is very bizarre. Because I'm still not 100% sure I understand. What they do outside of, I think he just swallows her whole.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
And then she comes out. I don't know how she comes out, though. That's what scares me.
Because there's several times where she talked about letting him swallow her. I don't know.
And then she always does that dance thing. And then there's always the sound effects that, like the
watery.
I don't know. It's the water. The splashing with like little ringing bells and stuff. And it's just, and then with the ghost and everything that happens there, then it kind of switches where it seems like it goes down this road where it's like not really about her being amused. It's more about him being like this dirty old man that can't be trusted. And he has the love, I guess lovers.
Yeah, he's a womanizer, and I think maybe he's regretting that aspect of his life, maybe?
I have no idea. To be quite honest, I don't know. I don't get it. And then she wants to get pregnant as a goldfish, but it's as I'm just so confused.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre. But and a lot of times the thing that got me, because at first it's silly. It's just so damn silly. And I could be okay with that if we had that the whole way through. I could just be, I'll just hitch along and be like, this is just complete silliness. Let's do it. But it gets so damn serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like extremely serious. And I'm like, she's a fucking goldfish. What? I don't understand what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a bizarre little movie. I think it takes place in the past, which is something I didn't even figure out until much later in the movie. I don't even know when it takes place. I'm guessing that maybe the 70s?
I have no idea.
Because he tells a story at one point about that took place in the 20s. And he was younger. He was like maybe in his 20s. And it was like 1924 that he was telling this story. So I'm guessing that maybe the film takes place sometime in the 70s. It looks old. Like it looks... The I don't know if it was meant to look old, but it has kind of a dated look to it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I will say that he does some really interesting things in just the execution of this movie.
There was one scene I liked a lot when she went back to the goldfish cellar.
Yeah, and they do the 360, like it's just completely swinging around.
Yeah, I liked that scene. I thought that was a nice little visual flair, and then also the mating scene when she was out. I think it was in the rain. Was it raining in that scene?
I think so.
I just remember it being. I'm like a week removed from this, so I just remember that visual being really kind of striking, and I like how they visualized her being a goldfish too, with like kind of the flowing red dress that was her tail and everything.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was kind of cool, but the film as a whole, I really didn't get much from it. Like I didn't really like it that much at all. Like I thought it was pretty dull.
Yeah.
And this is another one that I felt like it kind of overstayed its welcome.
Oh, it sure did. And I think that is mostly because, at least for me, is because it takes that shift into...
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, it just becomes so damn serious.
Yeah, because I was embracing the silliness. I enjoyed like the upbeat music, and like I said, it had kind of, at least for me, like a Woody Allen vibe to it, where there's this crotchety old man who's in love with this like nubile younger woman, and
it's also a goldfish
who happens to be a goldfish. It's just a silly thing, and she's like inspiring him to write and everything, and it has this kind of light tone, but then yes, it does get very serious, and that tone gets brought down, and then that's when it loses me.
Yeah, because then the ghost shows up, and you're just like, oh shit, we're adding a ghost to this too. Like, bless you. This is this is ridiculous. I didn't know we could take it to that level, but let's do it. And then, yeah, just pure seriousness, which is odd because then, like, the last however many bits, just that dance, them dancing to that song, where she does her little goldfish dance. And it's just like, what the fuck did I just watch? What is this? Like, I guess my main takeaway is that Japanese men are weird and dirty.
Yeah, they're definitely pervs.
And they'll fetishize anything.
Yeah.
Even a goldfish.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, this was a weird one. This is a bizarre little movie. I think I liked this one. Well, I know I liked this one more than the last one. Love and Peace.
I think for me, it's they're kind of the same.
It is kind of weird how,
I don't know. Like, if you
there definitely are similarities between the two.
Like, if you told me that today I had to rewatch one of these, that was the only film I could watch today, I don't know if I could decide. I think I would just have to like toss a coin.
Bitter Honey because it's shorter.
Yeah, I guess I would go with Bitter Honey because then I could get it over with and get
on with your life.
Get on with my life and get like errands done and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
So I guess Bitter Honey wins out by being shorter.
I think Bitter Honey's more thought provoking too, in a way. Like, I think that they're I guess because it's not. At least it's not, familiar like Love and Peace is. Right.
Because Bitter Honey is just. Honestly, have you ever seen a movie like this?
No.
Or heard of, like, is there another movie that's even close to being like this? I'm actually like very curious. I don't know if maybe there's like a whole thing in Japan where there's Japanese movies about women being goldfish.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is definitely a one of a kind film.
There's a part of me that hopes so, and then there's another part of me that hopes that there's like a whole genre of girls being goldfish that dates back to like the 30s. Like, it's been around forever and we just haven't seen them yet, and they'll start being released by Criterion in the next couple of years.
Goldfish series. All right, Bitter Honey. I guess I'll give this one. I liked it a little bit more than Love and Peace, but I think I'm still going to give this one a 4.5.
I think I might give it like a 4.5, which equates to like a really emphatic shoulder shrug.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know what the fuck this is.
Because like if I was thinking 5, because that's like right down the middle, but there's no way I would ever watch this again. I would never recommend it to anybody.
No.
And it's just, meh.
This is going to end up being one of those films that when you're bored one day and you're just kind of like flipping through pages of your Letterboxd films and you see the posters and you're just going to see this one and be like, what the fuck is that? I don't remember watching that.
And you're going to click on it and be like, oh yeah, the goldfish one.
Yeah, the goldfish movie. That's right.
All right, so that's Bitter Honey. Let's move on and talk about our last Japan Cuts movie. We're talking about A Room of Her Own, Rai Naito and Light. That's the full title.
Yeah.
This is directed by Yuko Nakamura. I have a synopsis here. On an island in the Seto Inland Sea, the Tashima Art Museum integrates the serene seaside environment with an architectural structure by Ru Nishizawa and the artwork Matrix by Ri Naito. The remote museum's single installation suspends light and air and droplets of underground water in constant play, defining a unique meditative space barred from filming. It goes on, but that's pretty much the gist.
It is a really long synopsis.
Yeah, I mean, it goes on for a while. So this is a documentary, and I thought that it was going to be mainly about Rai Naito and her art, and it is sort of, but it takes these kind of side steps along the way, which I up until it takes those kind of side steps and follows those other people, I was like really into this documentary, just because of two things: A, the visuals, and B, the music. I thought that the way that this documentary was put together was pretty great. How they did a lot of things in this, where the director narrates the film, and whenever she asks the subject, Rai Naito, whenever she asks her a question, instead of having her like directly answer or have the narrator repeat what she said, they just kind of put it up in text on the screen. And I thought that was a nice touch. I really liked that.
Well, and also, like Naito doesn't like being recorded.
Right. Yes.
He doesn't really show up on camera at all. So the way in which Nakamura kind of incorporates that into the film, where it's just like takes the camera to the restaurant of like where they met and they discuss things. It's just give it a different, like it's essentially like a talking head, but just completely transformed.
Yeah. And at first, like within the first probably 15 to 20 minutes, I was like, this is how you do a documentary. Like the way that they presented this was something different and unique. And it was, rather than just, information dumps at you, it was the documentary itself felt like a piece of art. And I love it when documentaries do that, because I feel like it elevates the genre.
And especially the way in which she introduces you to this matrix installation, this architectural structure type thing, where it's like there's no information dump. It's just like kind of go in the entrance. You have no idea what you're going into, and then boom, there it is. So you get to experience it like you actually just, you go there.
Right.
And you walk into the place. And when you just see it, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
Well, the funny thing is, you don't get a sense at the beginning. You don't get a sense of scale of how big it is. And then eventually they kind of pull back and there's like a wide shot and you see how big it is. And you're just like, whoa, holy crap. Like,
well, yeah. And
huge.
There's no really, she doesn't, like you said, there's no information dumps. She doesn't give you that much information. She doesn't give you context. Like the only way she really gives it to you is she's just kind of utilizing the space as you're meant to, as this like meditation type place where she just does that with the camera. So you just kind of learn more about it as the film goes on, just by her filming it. Like, because at first I didn't understand the water droplets.
Yeah, I was like, I was a little confused by that too. I was like, where are they coming from? Like, what's?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you're just struck with, well, that looks fantastic. Like, that just looks awesome.
Yeah,
I really want to be there and see that in person, because I have a feeling that would, like, that would transfix me for like an entire day. I think I could watch that for 24 hours.
Well, considering the museum is just that one exhibit, I think that's what they're counting on.
But, and then as the film goes on, you kind of get, she either steps back to give you scale by filming the place, or she gets more in depth with it, takes a closer look at it so you can kind of understand how it works. It sort of builds it, that all-encompassing, giving you all the information in that way, instead of just giving it to you all at once.
Right. And I like that, the main hook of this is that Matrix installation. So that's the centerpiece. But she gives this supporting information so that we can understand the mindset of the artist, Rie Naito. So if we're not familiar with her work already, we can get caught up and understand like the kind of art that she does and the kind of, her philosophies on life.
Yeah.
But again, she does it in a very kind of organic, like natural way. And it's not just like, Rie Naito grew up in blah, 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 in this prefecture. And blah, blah, blah. Like it's all done in a very natural, kind of smooth way. And I thought that I really appreciated that in it, because I've seen a lot of documentaries about artists and stuff, and they don't typically take that path in telling the story. And I thought that was great. And then eventually she does kind of this weird thing, and I understand why she was doing it, but I felt like it kind of separated me from the documentary when she follows around these several other women, and then she kind of tells their story, and then they all meet in the Matrix, we'll call it. And at first I was like, what? I am not as invested in this other person.
Well, I did initially like the fact that it essentially is just Naito being like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this documentary anymore. Like, I'm not really comfortable doing this, but you keep going. And then even, Nakamura doing the voiceover, he can kind of points out like, oh, I got to figure out a way to finish this.
Yeah, because she stops corresponding with her, essentially.
Which she ends up going, and she kind of just tells you straight out, she's just like, I'm trying to express how her artwork makes me feel, what it makes me experience. Which I don't know if she necessarily gets it across. I don't know if I really got a full like understanding or grasp of how it makes her feel. But it was interesting just to see her essentially like the process of her trying to get that across.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's definitely not as compelling as the beginning portions of the film are.
I just thought the visuals were incredible. Like just the what she chose to do as kind of backdrop to, the quotes that would go up on the answers to the questions and things like that would go up on the screen, and just everything, just the cinematography in general. I loved it. I mean, I like, the kind of Japanese minimalist art, like where everything is very organized, very clean, and that's what this movie is. It's very clean, it's very organized, it's very minimalist, and I really, really like that.
And two things out of the way she shoots all the artwork. Number one is you can tell that she's just completely enamored with the artwork itself.
Yeah.
Because I have this suspicion that she probably has like 40 to 50 hours of footage of that Matrix place. Oh, yeah. And number two is, I don't think, from what I saw in this movie, I don't know if you could film that installation any better than the way in which she did.
Yeah, right. Because like going back to what you said, she she pulls it out to a larger scope, and then she brings it in like really so close, like super close up shots of like the little like ball things that are kind of sporadically placed where the water comes up through the ground. So she brings in, she has like kind of the vast scale, but then she also brings it in for like the intimacy that place can hold. And then
and then also when she gets all the people to meet there, it's just the way that she kind of sets up the people within that space and films them, moving throughout that space. And then, there's water coming from underground out of these little like nodules. And just the fact that they're, that the whole interior of it is completely like waterproofed. That all the water just moves around. Like I could have just watched the water.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's, from what I understand, it's a concrete structure, and I guess that they made it so, I don't know if they put some sort of glaze on it or something.
They had to. They hit it. I don't know if they just slathered it in Rain-X.
But yeah, the water just, it doesn't stick. It like instantly beads and just kind of flows through the whole structure. And then there's these giant openings in the top, so like when it rains, the rain comes in. It just looks like such an amazing place. I looked at, after watching this, I looked it up and was looking at kind of like aerial photos and some other photos, and it just looks like, holy crap, I want to go there so bad.
Yeah, it just looks amazing. It's just that one, it has that one string across the main aperture, I guess.
Yeah, that kind of just flows.
It just like floats in the breeze.
And the whole structure is designed to look like a drop of water. Like the shape of the entire thing is a drop of water. So it's like very everything's very rounded. It just looks awesome. I want to go there. I think it's worth seeing this documentary just to see, because like the synopsis says, they don't allow cameras in there. So it's for a lot of people, this is probably going to be the only time that they get to see something like this.
Yeah.
Because from what I understand, it's like really hard to even get there. Like you have to take a ferry out to it and then drive for a while just to get there. Because it's like really out in the middle of nowhere on this tiny island. And then the island has like 1,000 people that live there.
I wonder if all of them just spend their days there.
Now, from what I read, the tourist, the amount of tourism that place gets is like phenomenal. Like it's huge. Because originally, this wasn't going to be the only thing. What they were going to do is put other artwork inside of it. Mm-hmm. So like the structure itself was going to be the museum. And then within that structure, they were going to have additional art from different artists. But after they went in and saw, what it was, they were like, we're just going to leave it like this.
Don't ruin it, yeah.
Because I think it would definitely take away from the architecture itself if you had like canvas paintings, plastered on the sides. It just wouldn't.
No, because the emptiness is.
That's part of it.
Into it, yeah. That's what the emptiness and the water.
And that's a big thing with it too, is the acoustics of the place and how like the large openings in the roof allow for kind of the nature sounds to come in and everything. I think it seems like it would be a really kind of calming experience.
Oh my God, yes. It was just calming to watch it on, through my computer screen. Which I don't think is, its intended presentation. But even when you, reduce it down to that shitty presentation, it's still quite powerful.
Yeah. That being said, the amount of footage that was just in this one installation far outweighed pretty much anything else in the movie. So it's like, if you're not enamored with this one installation, you're going to have a tough time with this movie, because that's like I said, that's the centerpiece. That's the main draw, is that one thing. And huge portions of the movie just are footage of that one thing. So if you're looking for kind of a comprehensive documentary about this artist, this isn't going to be it. I mean, they give the broad strokes about, where she came from and her life and the type of art that she does. Like I want to buy one of those little people so bad.
I know.
But they talk about some of her previous installations and things that she did, but the main focus is this one.
Yeah.
I wish they would have, and I understand that this is mainly about Ri Naito, but I wish they would have talked about the architect a little bit more, because I feel like he's as big, if not a bigger part of that specific piece.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everything hinges on that structure. I mean, it's all about that. And I'm not even sure exactly what Ri Naito did in there other than the string, and I think she put the little ball things in.
Well, she could have drew up the plans of the...
Did she?
Of the structure itself, and then he built it.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Or, they work together or whatever, who knows? All I know is that they made it, and hopefully I can go there one day.
Yeah, I would just like to... I would have liked to seen a little bit more credit given to the guy that was the architect, but...
Yeah, at least mention, just a little discussion.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on A Room of Her Own?
I was quite surprised by it, actually. Like, I thought it would be like a decent
documentary. Same here.
Because it was one of those things, or like the reason I picked it out is like, I watched a trailer for it and I was like, it looks pretty good and it seems interesting and I like the artwork. Definitely looking forward to learning more about this artist. But like you said, that beginning portion of it, the way that she structures this and goes about this documentary, it's just, I was really surprised.
Definitely agree. One little nitpick. This is more so on me, but I just wish there was subtitles because she narrates in English, and there were some portions of it where I didn't quite get. I didn't quite pick up on what she was saying, but that's more so on me. But
so I think out of everything that we watched, this one was the.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is just my favorite.
Yes. Same here. Now, there's a lot of the Japan Cuts movies that I did not see. I didn't have time to catch all of them, so I'm sure that there were plenty other good ones that were screening there. There were a couple that I was really interested in, and I might still try to check them out and report back on them next week or in a couple weeks or whatever. But thus far, This is definitely the winner for me.
I agree.
Let's go ahead and give this a score. A Room of Her Own, Ri Naito and the Light. I will give it a... I'm going to give this one a 7.
I was leaning towards like a 6.5, a 7.
Yeah, solid documentary. I quite enjoyed it. And again, the music I liked a lot too. I thought the music choices were quite good and fitting. Mm-hmm. Of the visuals.
Yes, definitely got the mood down.
Very, sounded almost like Zigguros. That kind of
little bit.
Ambient sound. All right, that does it for Japan Cuts 2016. It seems like a decent lineup, although unfortunately the ones that we picked were not big winners. I like the Whispering Star a whole lot.
But I think it really did. I think their centerpiece of the whole festival was the two Sonos, plus the documentary to kind of supplement that. And at least for me, I didn't enjoy either Sonos. I mean, I did. I would, if I had to pick, Whispering Star obviously is a much better film, but both of them I was just kind of disappointed with.
Yeah, I liked the Whispering Star a whole lot. But unfortunately, like the documentary didn't really do it for me, and then Love and Peace didn't do it for me either. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to watch every movie that happens to come out in the U.S. by him, because I'll still watch pretty much anything he does, just because you never know. I mean, it's just like we talked about this before. It's just like he's like Miike, where you have some hits and some misses, but when you put out that many movies every year, there's going to be some that work for you and don't work for you. So,
and you just got to remember that he's an alcoholic. He's just trying to turn out as many movies as possible.
His motto is quantity over quality.
So there you go. You can't really be mad at the guy. He tells you straight out, I'm going for quantity here. I drink a lot. So
all right, let's talk about some of what we've been watching. Was it you that started last week? I can't remember.
Might have been.
Well, we took a week off, so I don't know.
No, there's so many things.
Well, I'll start it off. I saw The Bronze. This is directed by Brian Buckley. I was really interested in this one because it looked like it had the same kind of vibe to me as The Foot Fist Way, the Jodie Hill movie with Danny McBride, but instead of a guy who is what was he? Kung Fu, I guess. But this is about a woman who got a bronze medal in the 2004 Olympics, and this takes place 12 years later, and she's just this kind of lazy, profane loser, slacker who doesn't do anything but drink big gulps and steal mail from people. And I was kind of interested in it. And I gotta say, it wasn't that funny. Like, this movie just did not really do it for me. I don't know. It was just a big disappointment. Big disappointment. There were some moments. Thomas Middleditch is in it, and he's always funny. I always find him funny. The main character is the Melissa Rauch. She's the one she's from Big Bang Theory. And she was kind of funny. Like, her character was so inherently unlikable, which was by design, that at first it was kind of endearing to see this, gymnast who had such a filthy mouth and was like just such a horrible human being. That was kind of funny, but the shtick wore off pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There is a particularly graphic and semi-funny sex scene in it, too, where she and another gymnast are having sex, and it's just like the most ridiculous thing ever. And Gary Cole plays her dad, and his best friend is a goldfish. So there's that tie in there.
Wow. Who knew there would be a goldfish theme?
Yeah.
For this week's show.
But at any rate, The Bronze, I unfortunately cannot recommend.
Mm-hmm. That's a bummer. I watched Inside Out.
Ah, a little Pixar action.
A little animated film I don't know if you've heard of.
I saw it.
What we like to call an indie gem.
Mm-hmm.
First thing with Inside Out, I guess the main thing that I enjoyed the most was Phyllis Smith and Richard Kind. Her being Sadness and playing Bing Bong. Which just, they were so perfect for whoever did the voice casting for that. Yeah. Just nailed it, because they are exactly who you needed in that position. Because man, did they make it work! And I think overall it didn't really work for me as a whole, but there was a lot of bits of it that I did enjoy. A lot of like how they visualized an idea, like when they're on the train of thought and they knock over the opinions and the facts and they just throw it together, and the dream factory and just all these like little bits here and there. It was like, oh, that's clever, that's really clever, but as a whole it just didn't really work for me, because just like the real life stuff, like when you're in her actual world and not the inside the head world, just none of that really felt right to me. It's just felt really bizarre, where it's just like she has one bad day at school, like a bad 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And everything crumbles.
Yeah.
Like she loses all of her personalities and holy shit, she's running away from home, and it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I one of the issues I had was that the stakes didn't feel nearly high enough on that for that to happen.
And there was just like a disconnect too. Like her parents, they were kind of like introduced as these like fun-loving parents, and they're so fantastic, and they're always having fun. And then they're having that dinner where she like, she loses joy, and the anger in them are trying to do the best they can. And just like her interaction with her dad and stuff just felt completely like out of nowhere. I was like, are these the same characters? Like, what the fuck is happening here? When it was inside her head, that all those ideas was really strong. But then everything outside of that just felt really poorly developed. It's kind of like this half and half thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe if they had another shot at it.
That's kind of how I looked at it too. I didn't think it was anything amazing.
But I just, you go through, because I remember everyone like losing their shit
for some reason
over this movie. And I'm just like, wow, this is going to be one of those that's just going for the feels the whole time. And I'm just like, how? I mean, like, my main question is, like, how's hockey a personality? Like, that's not a party, that's a hobby. It's not a part of personality. And I know that you're still kind of young, but that's all the personalities that you have was like 4, which was family, friends, hockey, and goofball. Like, man, you are not a well-rounded person.
Well, maybe she's still growing. She's still young. She's still developing.
Still, you would think at that point in time you would still have a little bit more going on.
Yeah. I think that they'll probably do a sequel and probably introduce more.
Well, that's the beauty of it, is that there's so much you can do with that premise.
Yeah, I'm almost certain they'll do a sequel to that.
Yeah, because you got to do.
She's going to be older, and
they set it up too with the big red button for puberty, and they're like, I don't know what that is. And once you get the hormones in there, everything's going to go fucking crazy.
Yep. They're definitely going to mine that property for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that's Inside Out. I saw a movie called The Blackout Experiments. This came out this weekend on VOD. Actually, I think it came out last weekend. At any rate, this is a documentary about there's a thing called Blackout. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but they do it in New York and they do it in LA, and I don't know if they do it in any other cities, but it's basically like an extreme horror experience, like an extreme haunted house.
Okay.
Where and I heard about this before I saw the documentary, where you have to, like, it's sort of like The Game, but like a real version of The Game, where you have to sign all these releases and stuff, and you have to go to this place at a random time, and you essentially get kidnapped, and you witness this like horror experience where the people they're allowed to touch you, they're allowed to like grab you and like throw you and like do things to you, like physically, like strangle you, put bags over your head, and like it's all designed to be this kind of like extreme horror experience, and you have to like sign all this paperwork and stuff before you commit to doing it. And the documentary basically follows these, I think it's like maybe 4 people that sign up for it, and kind of just documents their experience with it. And I don't know what I was expecting. I was just kind of interested to see how this thing works and maybe what happens. But a lot of it's like kind of reenactments, and a lot of it's like, it's not like a horror experience, and more of like an extreme therapy session. So like when you first sign up, you have to fill out all these questionnaires about like, very personal things about you, like hang-ups and like things that you struggle with in your life and stuff like that. So they kind of tailor fit the experience for that. So like the one guy had obsessive compulsive disorder, so they targeted that. So it's less of a horror thing and more of a therapy thing.
Yeah.
And for some reason that just didn't do it for me. Yeah.
Therapy through horror.
And it was just like, these people, these are all like, privileged white people with too much money, paying to have somebody fake kidnap them and put a bag over their head and like give them fake tattoos and like, you know, rough them up a bit so that they can get over their fear of abandonment or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
Sounds ridiculous.
I mean, the concept of Blackout, I think, could be interesting, but what the documentary was going for, and just the quality of the documentary was not very good either. It just, not too interesting. But if you want to see it, it's called The Blackout Experiments, and it is, I rented it on iTunes. I don't know if it's available on Amazon or not.
Okay. I watched a lot of Populous movies, turns out, because I also watched 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you what, this is a good Friday night movie, I gotta say. After a hard day of work, come home with some beers, pop on some 10 Cloverfield Lane. Oh boy.
I bet you liked it, didn't you?
Fucking twists and turns all over the goddamn place. I mean, a lot of them were pretty telegraphed, but either way.
There are some genuine surprises in that.
Yeah, there are. And I gotta say that I was pretty impressed with especially towards the end, like, the commitment to keep, you know, upping it and turning it into something else was pretty. I appreciated that, I gotta say.
Yeah, because you knew that there was a tie-in to Cloverfield. Like, you knew that there was something there, something bigger than this kind of isolated, almost kidnap story. But how far they went with it, that was the surprise. It's like, oh damn, like this is like we're entering like, you know, big budget blockbuster territory here at the end. Yeah, and that was the surprise for me. Yeah, I thought that it was just going to be a little glimpse of something, you know, and that was going to be it. But they commit.
Yeah, because it kind of, you know, with a title like this, obviously you think there's the tie-in with Cloverfield, right? So the whole beginning portion of this film where it's like, oh, is there actually something going on, or is she just kidnapped down here? What's happening? It's like you kind of already know. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So like to play that out was kind of like, okay, like I think we already know the answer to this though, because you pretty much told us.
Unfortunately, I think that was a marketing tactic, because I think that if you didn't know, like if it didn't have the title 10 Cloverfield Lane,
no,
and that's what people were saying. Like a lot of people said the title is the biggest spoiler in the whole movie. And I completely agree with that. If this was named something else, like, I don't know, 10 Shady Lane or something.
Fucking Bunker. Just call it Bunker.
Just called Bunker. Like, you would have no idea. So when that finale hits, you'd be like jaw drop. Yeah. You know, it'd be like, holy crap, what is going on here?
Because the beginning portion of it is it does kind of throw, even though you know the answer, I'm trying to think of, you know, like if you didn't have that information going into it, that would play out really well. There would be a shit ton of tension with her being there, you know, chained up, and what is the relationship between Goodman's character and Gallagher's character, you know, what the hell's going on there, and how does she play into this? Mm-hmm. You know, what are they planning, that type of thing. That would all work out so well.
Right.
But you're right, you know, the spoiler, the thing, you know.
Yeah, you know that there is something out there. And that's unfortunate, because there was actually a large portion of the movie was her trying to figure out if there was something out there or not, because of the whole, what was it, a goat or something that was tied up outside?
Yeah.
And so you never really knew if, like, oh, was it something out there that did that, or did he do it, or is he working with someone out there?
Yeah.
So there were all these questions, but because of the title, you knew. Yeah, of course there's something out there.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, some of the stuff you just had to kind of, you know, suspend belief. Because, like, when they start doing their whole, like, gathering supplies within the bunker to create their little, you know, their costumes and stuff, I'm just thinking, like, this bunker's not that fucking big.
Right, yeah,
like, how are you doing that? Like, you're making a shit ton of noise.
Right.
He knows all movements. Come on. It's a bit ridiculous. But there are some genuine surprises that I was not expecting.
I wasn't expecting the thing with John Gallagher Jr.
No.
I can see what it was, but
I didn't see that coming at all.
that was a surprise. There's going to be, I don't know if are you familiar with escape rooms? Have you heard of the whole escape room thing?
No, I don't think so.
So what escape rooms are is they're basically things set up where a group of people, like a group of your friends, go to it, and you're locked in a room, and you have to try to figure out a way to get out. And they're setting up an escape room that's based on 10 Cloverfield Lane. So they're recreating the bunker.
Yeah.
And so you and your friends have to go in, you get locked in, and you have to figure out a way to escape the bunker.
What? It
sounds awesome. It sounds like a lot of fun.
People are weird, man.
Escape rooms are cool as shit.
This does not sound fun to me.
You have to like work together to like solve the puzzles and try to find like the combination to get out of the room or the key or whatever it may be. It's like a game.
That's a messed up game. I don't want to be locked in a room with people.
Well, you're being watched. Like they have cameras set up, so and then from what I know people that have done them. I've never done one, but from what I understand, they give you like a whiteboard, and if you need a hint or something, like if you can't figure out the next clue or puzzle piece or whatever, you write like hint on a whiteboard and show it to the camera, and they'll get on like a loudspeaker and give you a hint. It sounds really cool. We were gonna do one. A bunch of my coworkers were gonna get together and do one, but we haven't worked it out yet. But the 10 Cloverfield Lane one sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
I guess it's like a team building thing.
Yeah. Companies use it as like a team building thing. But they have like big ones. Like there's one here in New York that's in a theater. Like it's in an old abandoned movie theater.
Okay. I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm just letting people know now. If you're like, damn, you think Kevin would be interested in doing this escape room thing? Don't fucking ask me. Not interested. Just a heads up.
All right. Are you done with 10 Cloverfield Lane?
I'm done.
All right. I saw Batman the Killing Joke. This is the R-rated animated Batman movie that's based on the very famous graphic novel of the same name. This is my favorite of the Batman stories, actually. This is the one where the Joker shoots Barbara Gordon in the spine and paralyzes her.
Oof.
Unfortunately, the animated version just doesn't work. It's not very good.
What?
Like all the kind of emotional heft that was in the graphic novel, because it's a very emotionally driven story. It's a tough read, because it's just absolutely horrible what happens in it. I don't know, for some reason it's very muted in the animated version. Like it just doesn't have that much weight to it. And there's like one thing that happens in the beginning. I'm just going to flat out say, because I think that a lot of people are talking about it, but Batman has sex with Barbara Gordon at the beginning of the movie. And like it's like on a rooftop, they're in costume, and they totally do it. And
he's wearing the Batman costume.
Yeah.
Weird. How's that work though? Is that just like the top portion of the costume and the pants are down?
Frankly, I don't know.
An opening in the costume, like a pair of boxers or something?
I'm guessing she pulls something down. Like she probably pulls, because I'm assuming that the pants are separate from the shirt. And she probably undoes the belt and then just rips the pants down to expose the genitals.
What a way to...
Either way, it felt really weird and unnecessary, and I don't know why it was there. But other than that, it was pretty dull. Which is a shame, because they got all the original animated series voices back. Like Mark Hamill was the Joker, and Kevin Conroy was Batman and Bruce Wayne. Ray Wise played Commissioner Gordon. That was a interesting choice.
Okay.
But yeah, unfortunately, this one just didn't work. I almost nodded off while I was watching it. I just was not into it. So I would recommend, if you're into The Killing Joke or want to know about this story, one of the greatest Batman stories ever told, and it also dives into one of the possible origin stories of the Joker too. I would recommend reading the graphic novel. It's short. It's not long at all. It's like, I think, the equivalent of maybe a 6-issue arc. So it's a really quick read, and avoid the animated one.
I got to see, this is the first time I've ever done this, I got to see an old movie in the theater setting.
What?
So I went to the Strand Capitol to see Jaws.
Oh man, you lucky asshole.
First off, the seats there are
they're horrible.
Oh,
the fold up, the classic fold up theater seats.
Well, it's been such a long time since I've been there, and the leg room.
Yeah,
because I feel like I'm trying to remember like when the Strand Capitol was built, like what that time period would have been. But I don't know if everyone was just like really fucking short when they during that time period when they built that place. Because the leg room it's essentially like only comfortable for people that are like 3 feet tall. Because there is no room for your legs whatsoever.
The knees are up against the back of the.
Like I couldn't even. There's not enough, and I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not exaggerating or anything. There wasn't enough room that I could even put my feet flat in front of me and sit. Like it was impossible. Like my feet were too big. Like that's how much leg room we're talking here. So, but it was cool, you know. You had the whole they had the guy playing the organ before the show, and he was like playing the Jaws thing, the theme and everything. He's doing the soundtrack, and then the organ goes down into the floor, and it comes on. And it was like a packed house, and everyone was having fun. It was really fun, you know, to see. And it's such a long time since I've seen Jaws. So a lot of it was kind of like seeing it for the first time. Mm-hmm. Like I know the like broad strokes of it, you know, like the big scenes, like when they would come up, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember how this plays out. Okay.
All things that make Jaws amazing though.
Yeah. But like everything in between, all that kind of stuff, I pretty much had forgotten about. And it was fun to like this time around to put a lot of attention on the mayor because of the Ghostbusters joke. Of how, you know, never compare me to the mayor of Jaws. So I was really locked in on how he handled every situation. And now I understand Andy Garcia, like why he was so pissed off about being compared to him, as it made a lot more sense this time around. And I gotta say, like, the effects work for 1975.
Pretty great, weren't they?
Holy shit, they still hold up, man.
They do.
And I gotta say, I forgot that one of the victims is a small kid.
Yeah.
Because when that happened, I was like, I don't remember a kid getting eaten.
Yeah, and that movie is rated PG.
Yeah. Just like, what the fuck?
And the other thing that surprised me rewatching this, when I got the, I don't know which anniversary it was, but I got the Blu-ray where it was remastered, was the amount of blood. Like, I forgot about the amount of blood in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a lot of blood.
But you also the thing that you can definitely see the change in blockbusters then and blockbusters now, where there, in all actuality, in Jaws, there's not a lot happening.
Oh no, a lot of it was setup. A lot of it was character development.
It's just almost an entire setup for the main showdown, and then that main showdown just takes forever. But in a good way. Right. Like they really draw out the suspense and the tension and everything. You're never really quite sure how it's going to go. I mean, it's just completely different.
Yep.
But now it's just like action, 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 action. Destroy as many buildings as fucking possible.
It's funny though, because Jaws is what started the summer blockbuster. I mean, that's one of the films that started that whole trend. And it was like, as time went on, it was like they stripped out like just certain scenes of those movies and like extended them for 2.5 hours. And it's like, it's like they took out all the good stuff, all the stuff that made it a good film, like the character development and like just the town itself, you know, like the the whole the Amity thing, it felt like a real town. I mean, it was like, I think he used like a lot of locals and stuff when filming that, but it just
well, it's just also fun too, because like I root for the shark in this movie, because I have this like thing about people that get like attacked by sharks. Like, I don't feel bad for you, so I'm just like, get them shark. And it's just so ridiculous the way that they like, that's like, this kind of fucked up sharks. Like, it gave sharks a reputation, and it's like, they're not like, this fucked up sharks for a long time, because people are like, oh, this is how sharks are.
Yeah.
It's like, poor fucking sharks, man.
What I'm wondering is, because this movie came out before we were born, so I'm wondering if before Jaws, if like what it was like before Jaws, were people? I just don't
think people really even knew anything about sharks. They're just kind of like, oh, sharks are, damn, you don't fuck with sharks.
Yeah, that could be. It could be.
But now, like, this movie comes along, it's like, sharks are just crazy. They go into shallow water and they just start fucking eating everything.
And they're enormous too.
And they're fucking geniuses. Like, they will toy with you for days. It's like, it's a psychopathic shark.
I love Jaws. I'm gonna have to see if they're gonna be doing any screenings of that.
Well, this is like, around here at least, and I'm sure it's like a lot of places, like, they're always playing Jaws. Like, this has to be like one of the biggest, I guess you would call it a repertory type thing. Like, they're always playing Jaws. Like, every week, this Jaws is playing somewhere around here.
I think Rocky Horror probably still has it beat, but
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
That one, I don't think any day of the week you want to go see Rocky Horror, you can see it.
Find somewhere showing it.
Remember they used to play that in Dallas Town? Like every week they'd play that at the Dallas Theater.
Yeah, that was the only thing that kept the Dallas Theater open.
All right.
Because who knew Dallas Town had that many Rocky?
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Because I went one time. I don't know why. I don't know why I was even there or who I went with. But I just remember I was so confused by it. Because it was fucking packed.
Yeah.
And everyone was doing the thing, where they're yelling out stuff.
And the bread.
Yeah. I was just like, I had no idea what it was. I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing. One of my friends, Adam, who he's really into going to Rocky. Like, he dresses up and everything. Like, I don't know why he got the Rocky Horror bug. But I'm not a big fan. I don't like the movie, and I think that's the barrier of entry for me, is that I just don't like the movie.
Yeah.
The only other movie that I saw was called Lace Crater, directed by Harrison Atkins. This is stars Lindsay Burge. Joe Swanberg's in there for a scene.
All right.
Basically, it's about a group of friends that they go to one of their parents' houses in the Hamptons for a weekend, and the Lindsay Burge's character decides that she wants to stay in the coach house, which is separate from the main house, and she gets drunk one night and does some, what I would assume is MDMA, smokes some weed, so she's a little messed up. She goes in, and I guess she went through a pretty bad breakup recently, and so she's a little vulnerable, and she ends up meeting a ghost, and she has a long conversation with this ghost. His name's Michael, and then she ends up having sex. She has ghost sex, and a couple days later, she's not feeling well. She's been sick, and she goes to the doctor, and they run some tests, and they say, well, you have an STD, and she's not, and they're not sure what kind of STD it is yet. Like,
oh shit, it's some unknown ghost STD.
Yes, it is. It is a ghost STD. So it's sort of a comedy, but it's also sort of this kind of psychological horror, because it kind of messes with her mind. Like, she starts seeing things, and really weird stuff starts to happen and starts to affect her behavior. And then it kind of turns into this body horror thing, because she starts waking up covered in ooze, like ectoplasm. And she starts vomiting this like black stuff, and then this black stuff starts coming out of her vagina area. and it's just it's no good. It's no bueno.
Now is it like what was that, Contracted movie?
Yeah.
Where she's just like, oh, black stuff, whatever.
Yeah,
just
so
going about it.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this one is that this is a lot like Contracted, whereas like Contracted, it was she had sex with a zombie, and in this one she has sex with a ghost. Both have similar outcomes, but in this one she goes to the doctor right away. Like she is not messing around. She immediately goes to the doctor, and she gets these like antibiotics and stuff. But it doesn't help at all.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it's a ghost.
Yeah,
you can't combat that shit.
And so the doctor tells her get a lot of rest, drink a lot of fluids. You know, just kind of just lots of rest. And she does that, but it doesn't help.
Yeah, hell no. It's a disease from another dimension.
Yeah,
come on.
So
rest ain't gonna help that shit.
So this is significantly better than Contracted, although. Other than those comparisons that I just drew, it's not the same type of movie. It's pretty much a mumblecore movie. I mean, there's a lot of kind of long extended scenes where people just, it's 20-somethings having conversations. There's a lot of kind of relationship things that are happening in this, like the guy that she likes, one of her best friends likes also. So there's all this kind of added stuff in there on top of the fact that she has contracted this ghost STD. And so it's a really interesting movie. I kind of liked it. I think I probably would recommend checking this one out. If you're into the American indie, and you might want to give it a look, because it's really interesting. And when she first meets the ghost and just their interaction, it's pretty funny. Like when she first meets him, she drops her beer, and he's like, oh, I think there's some paper towels over there. Let me go ahead and clean that up for you. And then they cut to him on his hands and knees cleaning up the beer she spilled with paper towels. And it's funny because he wears this like all burlap suit thing, like his whole body's covered in burlap, so he's really creepy looking. But just to see him on his hands and knees dabbing up spilled beer is funny.
It is intriguing because it's directed by the guy that did a short film called Blissful Banquet, which I think played on No Budge last year or the year before, which was a really bizarre short. Yeah.
He also did Chocolate Heart, which I believe I actually reviewed that on the site. And yeah. And that was also a short film that was really interesting and had like a really, really cool visual style. It's about a guy who kind of falls for this girl, but he doesn't really know how to interact with people because his parents turned into cats. Yeah, if I don't know if Chocolate Heart, because I reviewed it for a festival, but if it's available on like Vimeo or something, I would recommend. It's only like 7 minutes long.
I might have to search.
Yeah, I would recommend checking out Chocolate Heart because
I gotta seek that out. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, but yeah, this guy is definitely someone who I'm going to be keeping an eye out for, because I think he's got some really interesting, strange ideas.
Just off the wall.
Yeah, but
I hear it.
Anything else on your end?
I have one thing. I wanted to mention that there's a new website called Connect. The website is actually like connect.media. It's started by Isaac Goes and Kurt Walker, two like experimental filmmakers. So their first program came out. So it looks like they're going to do, I don't know if it's always going to be like 4 films for the month or whatever, but their July program came out. I ended up writing 3 reviews for 3 out of the 4. 3 out of the 4, which I got to say, for like the first program of their website, pretty fantastic what they put out so far. Really excited about this. If you're wondering why I did not write a review of the other one, that is because initially I first saw it and I'm like, oh, it's only 3 hours long. I'll get around to it. But then I realized that it's it's a bunch of different parts. The first part's 3 hours. The second part's like 2.5 hours. And what it's actually, and in August, the other parts will come on. It's a 24-hour long movie. Okay. And there's no visuals. It's just sounds. And I'm not doing that. No. It's not happening. Okay. I'm not doing it. I can watch so many other movies in that time period instead of and the screen doesn't change. It's just because I gave it a shot. Like, oh, maybe there are some visual. No, it's just sounds.
So what is it? Black screen?
It just says the title of what that portion. Like the first one is Trust and Betrayal, I think, or maybe that's like the second one or whatever. So it'll just say those words on the screen the entire time. So for like 2.5 hours, you hear like dialogue that goes along with that theme.
So I would say maybe that's better left to like download it to your phone or something and listen to it on the way to work. You know, like one of those things, like a podcast.
Yeah, I'm not. It's 24 hours of that. I'm not doing that.
Sounds like an audio book. Yeah,
I'm not doing it. But the other three, and I got out of those three, Ocean Falls, which they're all, one was like 35 minutes, 25 minutes, and Ocean Falls, I think, was like 13 minutes. And I thought that Ocean Falls was the best of the bunch. So I would definitely suggest checking out that website if you're into experimental cinema.
And what's it called? Kinet?
Yeah, Kinet.
Kinet.media?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, check that out. I'll keep an eye out for those as well. All right, let's talk about some predictions. So we took the week off last week, so we'll go over last week's, and then I'll just kind of read off some of the scores from the movies that came out this week. Ice Age Collision Course, you said 60, I said 58, actual 12. Yikes. People are done. People are done. They're officially done with the Ice Age movies.
Sick and tired of that fucking acorn.
Scrat. Star Trek Beyond, you said 72, I said 68, actual 83.
Wow.
Yeah. Heard nothing but great things about that one, so didn't get a chance to check that out yet. Lights Out, you said 82, I said 42, actual 76. So it looks like you were right on that one. That was a hit. That one was a hit. They're already working on a sequel for that one.
Yeah.
I want to see it so bad, and I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. It looks so scary. Pretty excited. What came out this week? Let's look at some numbers for this week. Jason Bourne got a 56%. Bad Moms got a 63%. Nerve, which came out on Wednesday for some reason, got a 56%. We have a review for that up on the site, as well as Bad Moms. I should also mention that we do have a review for Lace Crater up. One of our new writers, Ken.
Lace Crater, actually.
Yeah, Ken did a review for Lace Crater. I think he gave it a 6.5 or a 6, something like that. What did he give it? Oh, of course, I don't have it up on my screen. Blake gave Bad Moms a 7. Ken gave Lace Crater a 7, and then Blake gave Nerve a 6. Yeah. Next week we have Suicide Squad. It's a biggie.
Oh God! Thank God. I'm so sick of hearing about this fucking movie.
I'm pretty excited to see it. I really, really hope that it's good.
I think it's gonna be garbage. It just looks so fucking nauseating.
I'm gonna say 68 on that.
I'm gonna say 52.
All right. We also have 9 Lives.
Is this about cats? This would be a cat movie. Shit, it is a cat movie. Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
It is a movie about Kevin Spacey turning into a cat.
Wait, he plays Kevin Spacey and he turns into a cat?
No, I mean he plays like a, I don't know, like a.
That'd be great if it was like a being John Malkovich type thing.
Oh no,
Kevin
that would be
the actor.
Now, see, that would be amazing, but no, I think.
And then he tries to make it as a fucking cat actor. See that right there? That's a better movie. It's such a better movie.
I think he plays like some kind of Wall Street guy or something, or some.
It says he's a daredevil billionaire. I don't know what that means.
Okay, well. This one looks absolutely atrocious. What are you thinking on it?
Wow. 0. It can't get anything higher than a 0, can it?
I'm gonna say 10.
Ow.
It looks so terrible. It just reminds me of that A Talking Cat movie. Which I have yet to give Ryan to watch. Maybe I will this week.
You have to.
Because it's
because
perfect.
9 lives, dude.
That's perfect.
You have to do it. Just give him 9 lives too. Give them both. It's a double feature. God, that's amazing.
Yeah. Limited release next week. Actually, I don't know if this is getting a wide release or not because it got all messed up. But The Little Prince comes out now.
Yeah, what happened there? Because I remember that this kept getting pushed back. This is coming out on Netflix.
Yeah, it had distribution. I can't remember who was putting it out, but then they dropped it. Like a week before it was supposed to hit theaters, they dropped it. Now, I don't understand. I've seen this movie and it's fantastic. Like I just don't get it. But it's a great little family film, and I definitely recommend it. It has a 95% as of now on Rotten Tomatoes. So
it looks good.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good. I don't know why they dropped it, but Little Men comes out. That's the new Ira Sachs movie with Greg Kinnear. Looks okay. A family drama. Let's see what else. Amateur Night, starring Jason Biggs.
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Hard no on that one.
A movie called Sunchoke that I'm slightly interested in. The Mind's Eye. This is a new one from the director that did. What was that movie that came out? That was like a low budget version of The Thing. The director's name's Joe Bagos. This one looks interesting. I'm into this one. It's definitely got that kind of 80s throwback horror vibe to it. Almost Human, I believe, was the name of the last one he did. I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but I liked the idea behind it. What else do we have? That's pretty much it.
Did you mention Little Men?
Yeah, I just said that. The Irish Sax one.
Okay. Sorry.
Jeez.
So talented. I'm still reading up on 9 Lives, dude. Sorry. This cat is using markers. Cat can even use markers, dude.
What a genius cat.
Fucking. Cat's got an IQ of Kevin Spacey.
An IQ of Kevin Spacey. That's amazing.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing because he decided to be in a movie called 9 Lives.
I don't know about that.
So I don't know if you had to choose between an IQ of Kevin Spacey or a regular cat's IQ. Which one would you pick? Because I think I'd probably go with the cat because then I wouldn't make career decisions like 9 Lives.
Yep. True story. On VOD next week, on Tuesday, August 2nd, we have Can We Take a Joke? That's a documentary about comedy, stand-up comedy, and how serious people are when it comes to doing stand-up about taboos and politically incorrect stuff. Sunchoke. And then Friday, August 5th, we have The Mind's Eye, 5 Nights in Maine, and The Dwarf Knot, which I think is a documentary about a cosplayer or something like that. And yeah, not so sure about that one. Next week on Blu-ray, this is for August 2nd. We got Puerto Ricans in Paris. Nah, not going to recommend that one.
Thanks.
Viral, which is a found footage horror film from I think it's also from the guys that did, it's from Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, the guys who did Catfish, and they also did that Nerve movie that just came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Laser Team, that's the Rooster Teeth comedy that looked pretty bad. Saving Mr. Wu. Meet the Blacks. That's the one with Mike Epps. What else? That's pretty much it. Keanu comes out. I'll check that one out because I didn't get a chance to see that in theaters.
Yeah.
Batman the Killing Joke. Manhattan Night. That one with Adrian Brody that just kind of appeared and then disappeared.
like most Adrian Brody projects.
Yeah, what happened to him, man?
He
fell off.
Everyone realized that he's an asshole and he's annoying as shit. And they're just like, you know what? Let's stop working with this guy.
Yeah, I guess. The Lobster comes out. I definitely recommend that one. The Bronze, Bite, which I don't recommend. And that's pretty much it. What do we have as far as Criterion's next week?
0, since 9 Lives is coming out. You can't fuck with that.
Oh, they know what's up. They're keeping the calendar clear for 9 Lives.
You got to.
Smart, very smart.
Ain't no one going to be spending money on Criterion. They're going to be spending money on 9 Lives tickets.
Going to see it multiple times.
Probably
see it again 4. For the first time.
Oh God, I love the world.
All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
So you're thinking that it's done, that we can continue, but that garage door has to go down.
Come back down.
It's got to come back down.
She's got to pull the car out, hit that button.
And then the whole house will shake like Jesus Christ. Fucking loud-ass garage doors. Like the whole fucking... It feels... It's as though it sticks to the ground, so when it comes up, there's this like huge like shake. Like it's being ripped from the earth. Like the earth like grew around it.